Now, it's time for my next guest, who is Janet Irasha. Janet is 22 years old, and she confesses that she's presently dating a 52-year-old sugar daddy. Okay, Janet, welcome to Real Talk.
Thank you so much, Tamima.
So, Janet, you're 22?
Yeah, I'm 22.
And sugar daddy?
He's 52 by
52?
now. Yeah.
And he knows that he's your sugar daddy?
Yeah.
So, when did you start dating him?
Okay, I started dating him like 2 years ago. He just found me in a horrible situation that I couldn't get out of myself. It was so tough for me, but I thank God he just brought him to me. He was God sent.
So you were 20 years old?
Yeah.
So what was this horrible situation that sent you into the arms of a 52-year-old man?
Okay, I used to have my previous relationship. I had a person who I loved.
How old was this person that you loved?
He was 25.
So within your age group?
Yeah. So he got me pregnant. He dumped me.
After now you told him you're pregnant?
Yeah. So the pregnancy journey was so sweet with him around, but the moment the baby was born, he was never there for me. He used to say that the baby is not his, and yet he was the first person who deflowered me, you see. So that made me feel bad. I went to an extent of wanting to commit suicide, but I just thank God. Yeah.
So you had your baby?
Yeah, I had my baby. She's my happiness for now. In whatever I do, I just do knowing that she's there and I need to be there for her.
So how did your current babe, who is 52 years old, get you out of that horrible situation?
Okay, when I met him, I was reluctant to fall in love with him. Okay, I wasn't really going to fall in love with him, but I wanted to use him as a scapegoat.
A scapegoat from what?
Like, from my miserable life.
What was so miserable about your life? You told us you had a beautiful baby girl who was the light of your life.
Yeah, but it was, after the breakup, I couldn't. I just saw myself as a failure. I used to call myself a failure because I couldn't provide anything for my daughter.
Were you living at home with your parents?
Not my parents, really, because I don't have parents. I used to live with my grandparents.
So you're maternal or fraternal? On your mother's side?
No, my daddy's.
Your dad's side.
Yeah.
So you used to live with your grandmother and grandfather?
Yeah.
And there you were, 20 years old, pregnant, you just given birth to a child, no job?
No job, no money. My grandma and my grandpa can't help me. In fact, my grandpa has stroke. He just survived stroke. So it was tough. It was tough for me.
So what were you doing to fend for yourself and your child?
Okay, when I went back to high school, I gave birth and went back to school.
You were in Form 3, Form 4?
I was in Form 2 when I got pregnant.
So going to Form 3?
Yeah.
So you went back to Form 3 now?
Yeah. So when that time came, he was there for me. He decided to pay my school fees. And in that situation, he used to support me to pay my kids' school fees. He was just there.
So when he was supporting you, like you're saying, paying your school fees, giving you money to, take care of your child, was your relationship purely platonic, or you guys had a romantic involvement at that point?
By that time, it wasn't romantic because I feared falling in love again. So I was there I just wanted to use him, to use his money, and that's all.
So where did you meet him?
It was back in Kakamega. That's where we met. It was in a club, yeah.
And you met in a club. Who approached the other person? He approached you, or did you
approach him?
Yeah,
he approached me. He saw me dancing, and he was just interested with me.
And you exchanged contacts?
Yeah.
So then, at which point did he now start saying, you know what, I'll help you out. I'll pay your fees. I'll give you money.
After meeting him, it was like 1 year before the 2 years of dating. That's when he showed me love. He was there like my dad. He wasn't there like my sponsor. To use that word, I'm sorry. So he was there like a dad to me.
So a caring father figure.
Yeah.
And he would help you out, no strings attached.
No strings attached.
So when now did you attach the strings?
Okay, when now I had finished my high school, that's when he opened up to me and told me, you know what, Janet, I love you. First time I was like, why is he telling me he loves me? But with time, I just started falling in love slowly, slowly, and that's what happened. Yeah.
So right now, you consider yourself head over heels in love
Yeah, so
with your
much.
sugar daddy.
Yeah.
And do you see yourself and your sugar daddy having a happily ever after type of story?
Yeah.
Does he have other kids from previous
Yeah,
relationships?
he has 3 kids.
A wife?
Not yet. They divorced, I can say that.
So he's no longer with his wife?
Yeah.
And have his kids met you?
Yeah, we met, we have socialized, and we're good.
How old are his kids?
Okay, his firstborn, he's turning 30, I guess.
So older than you?
Yeah,
Because you are 22.
yeah, he's older than me.
And his 30-year-old firstborn son is aware that his 52-year-old father is dating you, the
Yes,
22-year-old.
he's very much aware.
So does he have comments about that?
No, at the first time, they rejected it. They rejected me because they thought I was so young. But with time, they get to that extent of understanding that their father needs to be happy too. Because after the breakup with their mother, that was not the end of his life. So he had also another life to live.
So how old is his youngest child?
His youngest child is 24.
So all his kids are older than you.
Yeah.
And do you and your sugar daddy live together?
Nope.
You live separately?
Yeah.
So why don't you live together if you're saying your relationship is serious and you'll have a happily ever after?
Okay, the relation is serious, but to me, I haven't decided yet to settle.
What do you mean you haven't decided yet to settle?
I'm a hardworking girl.
So what do you
I
do
need
for a
to,
living, my dear?
I do sales. I work in Karen. Yeah, I do sales.
And he lives in Karen as well?
Yeah.
So you live by yourself?
Yeah, I do live by
He
myself.
pays your rent and for everything?
Yeah,
Pays for your child's fees,
everything.
So you're fully taken care of?
Yeah.
You probably don't even need to work.
No, but I like working. I don't like idling around.
So, and he's so generous to you that not only does he take care of all your financial needs, all your child's needs,
Yeah.
he's also willing to buy you a house as well?
Yeah. He wanted to buy me a house, but I was like, no, I can't live in a bigger house when my grandmother, okay, I call her my mama, when my grandmother and my grandparents have no house. Yeah.
So you told him that?
Yeah, so that's what we're working on, and soon, maybe.
So you are like, before you buy me a house, buy
Instead of buying me a house, buy for my grandma.
and your grandpa a house?
Yeah.
And he's willing to do that?
Exactly.
Does he know you're here today?
Yes, I told him.
And what does he make of you coming out very publicly?
He told me, Jano, I won't stop you to do what makes you happy. If you feel like you need to open up to the world and tell everybody about our love, no problem. I'm good with it.
So currently, are you just dating him or you're seeing other boys your own age?
I don't see any other man apart from him because I love him so much to cheat on him.
And is he loyal to you? Is he faithful to
Yeah,
you?
he's loyal.
So he's never given you any case of doubting him?
No, he has never.
He's introduced you to his kids?
Yes.
Has he introduced you to his friend and his larger extended family?
Oh, he has only introduced me to the brother and the mother.
So what does the mother make of your relationship? Because I can imagine she's from a totally different generation.
Yes, she is. First time she hated me because I had just come from a poor background. But with time, they came to understand what their son wants. And I'm glad to them, they accepted me and took me as their own daughter.
And what about your grandparents?
My grandparents are very okay with everything that makes me happy.
So are they aware that you're with a 52-year-old man?
Yes, they are. But other family members hated that. They didn't want that. I received critics, but at the end of it all, my grandpa told me, Janet, I won't be there for you always. Your dad is not around. Your mom died when you were 2 months old. So what you do, be happy. That's what you need to be. I couldn't give you all things that the world could offer. But if you find happiness, peace of mind, and peace of heart, be happy, my daughter.
So you're happy, you have a peace of mind and a
Yes.
peace of heart.
Yeah.
So if today he asked you to be his wife, would you?
I'll definitely say yes.
Okay, then.
I just need for us to acknowledge the significance of this lady sitting here. She almost committed suicide, but she's alive. Let's give her a hand. So thank you so much, Janet. And I noticed that when you're talking about your grandparents not having a house, you are getting emotional. You're
So
fighting
emotional.
tears.
Yeah.
So I can sense in you have this loving heart, and you really, really want to love and really want to care for people.
Yeah.
And you have a wonderful child that you're trying to raise.
Exactly.
And the more we live in this world, as we grow older, the need for companionship increases. I can almost predict that gentleman who's fallen head over heels for you, he's found in you a companion. And that's why he's like, I want to do all these things for you. Let me tell you something. When you find love, you keep it. When you find love, you keep it. And if indeed you've chosen this love is for you, and if indeed he has chosen that this love is for him, and indeed you two are doing this for the right reasons and for the right motives, then you need to find a way to enjoy this and find a companionship if you're doing it for the right motives. Because people are searching for love out there. Some of them are searching it till they die. When you find it, you keep it. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
So with your friends, do you have friends who ask you perhaps to introduce them to older men? Because you were candid, you said, initially for you, it started purely as a financial gain.
Yeah.
But then you got to know each other. The longer you spent with him, you grew to love him.
Yes.
And now you're deeply in love with him.
Yeah.
So your friends, do they want what you have?
Yeah, they usually tell me to go out with them. When I'm going to see him, they want me to go with them. They be like, Janet, can we talk to your babe about his friends? I'm like, there he is, you can talk to him.
Okay, Janet, so what are people's reactions whenever you and Bae go out?
Oh, the reactions, the Kenyan reactions are sometimes disgusting, but I ignore them.
So what do people say to you?
Why is this young girl dating an older guy like his grandfather? And I'm like, you don't know what I saw in him, so just shut up.
And before they know you're even in a romantic relationship, they assume you're his child, I believe?
Yeah, they used to think I'm his granddaughter.
His granddaughter.
Yeah.
So you have a daughter.
Yeah.
Would you approve of your daughter dating somebody similarly to you?
Okay, to me, I can't make decisions for my daughter. Maybe now I can, but when she grows up, let her do what she thinks is making her happy. I'm just basing it on happiness. When you're good, you're free, and when you think, this thing is what I want, go for what you want.
Okay, Dan?
First of all, Janet, just a piece of advice. I'd advise you from now on, don't call him sugar daddy. If indeed you say that you love him.
It's confusing, isn't it?
Yes. Don't. You can now start calling him as my king, my love, if that's what it is that you've decided. And if indeed you two or anybody else who's in a unique situation, love story, once you choose to go into a process of marriage, I'll recommend for you something called premarital counseling so that we can work around these things. Sometimes people may not approve of your love because of you marry from a different tribe, you marry from a different race, you marry from a different age, you marry from a different economical background. There will be those conversations. So premarital counseling will help you to walk through those things. That's why I'm saying if you two are committed in this particular situation. If it's love, it has to be love. If it's not love, then I don't want this. Be an honorable lady, and to the gentlemen, let's also be honorable men. If you're going to be in a relationship, please lead it as a man. Have a vision for that woman and grow together with that woman. It's time for us to be serious about this thing called love. Okay?
There you've had it. It's time for us to be serious about this thing called love. Obviously, at a certain point in everyone's life, you become an adult and you have to make your own choices. And what you always have to remember is that choices have consequences. So for my guests today, perhaps for them, they're enjoying this life that they have chosen. But let's be honest, when you're down there, in your hood, you've seen the ugly side of what dating a sugar mommy or a sugar daddy can sometimes turn into. And if you're a parent, please talk to your kids, talk to your teenagers, talk to your young adults in the house, because they're dealing with a lot of societal pressure. They're trying to keep up with the Joneses. And sometimes, if you've not equipped them with the right skills and they're learning from the world, mtoto usipomfunza, dunia itamfunza. Well, that's it from me, Tamima. As always, thank you so much for staying with us. Until next time, this has been Real Talk.
Special thanks to E+ for medic and ambulance services.